All right, in this class, I'm going to start 7.2. In the last class, we completed 7.1. I explained you regarding expert system, what is an expert system, what is backward chaining, forward chaining, all of the concepts related to that. What are the components that are responsible into it, such as a knowledge base, rule base, all of these areas. Now, in 7.2, we need to think it out ourselves that like even like are expert systems useful or not, so you have to think it out yourselves as well. Like I do rather say that machines have replaced the human beings, but not as much as like how would a human would tackle the information. Like I could say that sometimes the responses from expert systems can be too biased as well. So are expert systems useful? There are several advantages that can be gained from an expert system. Like expert systems can provide answer to questions that are outside the knowledge that you currently have. So they do have an advantages, but let's first check the advantages. The first part is that it can provide answers to questions that are outside the knowledge that you currently have. That means that even if you don't know about a certain area, the expert system will have the ability to search it out and help with it. With the second part, it can aid professional people by prompting them and guiding them to look at areas of knowledge they may have not considered or remembered. That means that AI do have the option to think out of the box. They are consistent in the responses they produce as they have arrived at in a very logical way. That means that they are consistent in the responses as well, because their responses are much consistent, or you rather say that they are much synchronized. They can be used at any time, so you do not need to contact another person who may have the knowledge at an unsuitable time. So it's like you have the access to it like 24/7, and whenever you feel like if you need any help, you can contact them. It can sometimes arrive at a solution to a problem quicker than a human world as well. That mean human would. So that means that it would rather take a lot of time to a human, like searching for all of the information and getting to it, but the expert system can get to it directly. So there are many advantages to an expert system as well, but the disadvantages are also there. And the disadvantages are that they do not have the intuition that the humans have. Like whenever you are speaking to a human, their reactions or their answer should have to be a logical one, but that's not supposed to be in this part. That means that expert systems do not have the intuitions that humans have. This means that their response can only be logical one, and they may not be the useful as well. There are only good they are only as good as the rules and the data they are provided with. So if there are errors in the data or rules, so it might produce a inconsistent or incorrect result. That means that if the answers are based on your data, so your answers has to be really correct. They are expensive to create as well, and many experts needs to be consulted, and a high level of skill is required to build the components part as well. And they cannot adapt a great deal to their environment, and they may require the knowledge base to be edited in order to do this. So after that, here are some questions as well which you can definitely answer. The first one is that think of a scenario which in which an expert system would be an advantage, and think of a scenario where an expert system would not be very suitable. How are expert systems used? So expert systems are used by many individuals and organizations for a variety of different reasons. Like we can say in medical diagnosis. So let's first discuss the medical diagnosis part. So the organization have a website, WebMD, that offers a medical expert system called Symptoms Checker. It can ask the user a series of questions about the symptoms and then provide the possible conditions that match the symptoms. So it lists the possible conditions as well, that what your patient have currently. So this is WebMD. Let me check it for you. WebMD symptoms checker. Here it is. So this is basically an example of an expert system. So for example, I say that my age is 24. I am a male, and what are your sister symptoms? Let's say I have fever I have cough. And, okay, I have cough. So you can see itchy throat, high pitched breathing, or maybe let's say on head, forehead. I have fatigue. I have fever, like this. So this is my temperature. Okay, now these are my symptoms. Continue. So I'm a male, my age is 24, and these are my symptoms. So conditions that match your symptoms. These are the conditions that is matching my symptoms, like maybe common cold or things like this. So what is the details? So here are the details. Here is an overview. Here is the diagnosis, treatment options, and all of that. And in the last part, it is also given me an option for treatment. Here is the treatment as well. So this is basically an example of an expert system. You can work it out onto your own as well, just to see, like, here you don't even need the doctor, but again the problem is that your responses might not be logical one, so you always need a doctor for this. So this is an example of an expert system. Other than that, the second one is a car engine fault diagnosis. So car engine fault diagnosis, like most modern cars, have an abundance of technology built into them. So car mechanics will often be very knowledgeable about the mechanical parts of the car, but they might not have the knowledge about the modern technology. So the cars often have a system of symbol on their dashboard that lights up when any issue is detected in the car, such as a problem with the engine as well. So the driver would see the engine symbol light up and show that the car may needs to be taken on a garage. But when the driver takes the car to a garage, the mechanic plugs the expert system into car. The expert system then interrogates the engine management to discover information about it. So expert system will provide a list of possible diagnosis to the mechanic, like who can fix the car. So they usually connect a device with your car, and then they check it with the available options that what is the problem with the car. Chess player is also one of the example as well. Like instead of playing a chess with a human, we can also take the example of playing chess with the computer system as well. That is going to help you with the movements. That is going to make you learn some new tactics as well. Financial planning is also one of the part that the expert system can do. Like they can be very useful tool in financial planning. Like they can help individuals on a small scale or companies on a very large scale. They can create financial plans, or they can assess what financial actions needs to be taken. So like they can help people to manage their debt, organize their investment, reduce their taxes, plan for retirement. All of these options in financial planning. Insurance planning can as be there. Like many insurance companies uses the online expert system, so the user can quickly see if the company has a policy, like which policy is suitable to you. So they can look for the options as well, like if these are the options, they can match the data. Plant identification can also be done with an expert system as well. Like we have websites, we have applications that can detect which plant is that, or planning a route for a delivery company. Google Maps is one of the example, and the good part about the Google Maps is that they basically set out the basic route, at which route you should take, or which is the fastest alternative you have. Delivery companies can use the expert system to find out the best route for a delivery driver for all the deliveries that the driver might need on the given day. So each of the deliveries of the driver need to make is just put into the system. Then the system will then output a route that will be the most efficient route for the driver to follow. So that's it as well. Then with the mineral prospectings as well. So in mineral prospecting, minerals can be very precious, and geologists can spend a long time trying to source them. An expert system called Prospector is one of the expert system developed to help you with the geologist in exploring for minerals. So digging for minerals can be very expensive, but if company wants to show that minerals will be present when they break the ground, so they should first use a prospector to calculate the possibilities as well. So this is it for this part. When it comes to an expert system, you can see that we have medical diagnosis, we have car engine fault, a digital opponent as well, which can help you play with it, financial planning, investment advices, providing insurance planning, animal identification, planning and scheduling routes for delivery, mineral prospecting, all of these. So that's how an expert system can be used. I have the following questions here as well. You can just solve them. Like it says two scenarios where an explanation system can be used. You could say medical diagnosis, health checkup, insurance planning. I explained you them. Identify the type of problem for which backward chaining would be possible. Concept of forward chaining, role of expert system for reasoning and judgments, and identifying the components. So that's it for this part.